Ba-da-da-day. Hey guys, I'm Dillon Coates. This is Sangeet. Once
Hello.
again on the Coasty Show. We're back and we finally saw the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. It's out. After a year of me bitching about it, it's finally out. And what's the verdict?
It was good.
It was good. It was very good. In fact, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this movie's been in production since about October 2010.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
8 years. 8 long
8
years.
years. I honestly can't believe we're here.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're finally here.
Honestly, it looked like the movie wasn't going to get made
Honestly,
for
yeah.
a while.
Like, the casting kept changing. It was Sacha Baron Cohen originally, then Ben Whishaw. Now we got Rami Malek.
Phenomenal, though.
At one point it was rumored to be Daniel Radcliffe as Freddie Mercury.
I did not hear about that.
I don't think it was true. I heard that somewhere. I don't think it was true, though.
Never heard about that. That's interesting. No,
Would have
that
not
deserves a
gone
drink.
well. Yeah. Basically, this movie's about the career of Queen, specifically about the life and career of Freddie Mercury. From his early time as a young musician growing up in the 70s, he was born in India, moved to London, met Brian May and Roger Taylor, eventually formed the band Queen. John Deacon joined, he's a bass player, and they went on to have a very successful 20-year career. And their music is still popular and loved today.
I think that you're underselling it a bit here.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, most people know the story.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, I don't.
I'm the big Queen fan.
Right, so as a Queen fan, what'd you think?
As a Queen fan, this movie did it for me. This movie was pretty fucking solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I guess as a general audience member,
As a general audience member, here's a big question. What do we think?
it was good.
It was good?
It was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was really
it was
good.
pretty solid. Okay, 2 words here.
Mm-hmm.
Rami Malek. Whew. That guy. Any doubts I had, I apologize, Rami Malek. You are a fucking legend in my book now.
He was already
Amazing
a legend.
performance. Already a legend. I didn't know him as that. But now
Watch
I
his
do.
interviews; they're legendary.
Yeah,
He's adorable.
he is.
He's a gem.
Yeah. But this movie, solid performance. Solid, amazing performance.
And not just him; everybody did a really good
every
job.
cast member of this movie is
Like,
pretty
they
perfectly
sold
cast. Yeah,
That's off to the casting director here.
yeah. The director is...
No, not the director. The casting.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The casting
You want to talk about
we
the
gotta
director?
get into this.
You want to talk about the director? Though?
Yeah.
That's a good segue.
Yeah. Totally planned that. Yeah, so Bryan Singer was the director of this for a bit, and then some stuff happened. And then Dexter Fletcher took it over for the last couple of weeks of production. And when that was announced, I was very happy because I've never really been a fan of Bryan Singer as a director.
See, the thing with Bryan Singer is, honestly, he's a pretty solid dude. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say
Yeah,
that. Solid director.
Yeah.
Solid director is what I meant by that. He
Uh-huh.
is not a solid dude
No.
at all. Even before allegations, he's kind
Uh-huh.
of. Do we swear on this show?
Yeah, we do.
He was kind of an asshole.
He was kind of an asshole.
That's even not that big
Yeah.
a swear. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I can retreat into this hoodie if I want to. Anyway, no, you will not hood me today.
Okay. We won't go full serious today.
Oh, I feel bad about that.
Talk in a second.
It's literally right behind me.
Yeah. Actually, no.
No.
He's not in that one.
No. Well, it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Counts. What was I saying?
You're saying you're gonna make me an offer you can't refuse. We apologize. We're sorry.
It's the Red Bull. Blame the Red Bull.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored by Red Bull, so
No.
we can dish them all.
Yeah.
Although, if they want to sponsor you, that wouldn't be that bad.
Wouldn't it be that bad? And we apologize. We're talking about a Queen movie. I can't believe we're not drinking Heineken, Freddie Mercury's favorite beer. Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. I actually did want to ask you this. I just forgot.
Yeah.
Was the Pepsi thing on the thing? Was that product placement, or was that actually there?
It's funny. My dad's a pretty huge Queen fan. When he first saw the footage of that, he asked me the exact same question.
Because it seemed like
I
placement,
know it
but I
does,
wasn't
but
sure.
if you watch the actual live aid footage, those Pepsi cups were on the actual piano.
There were a lot of really cool moments.
There
I
were.
guess that wasn't a cool the coolest moment, but there were actually a lot of really cool moments in this movie.
The concert scenes we saw in the trailer, they were just as epic as they looked in the trailer.
Yeah, and honestly, the sound design for this movie, oh my god,
Yeah.
it was so good. It's not even just the songs. I mean, I get it. It's
Yeah.
typical of a rock movie.
Yeah.
You want the sound
You
design
want
to
the
be good.
music to be awesome.
But like even like the quiet moments,
Uh-huh.
guys, were so good.
Yeah.
Like, my heart was racing the entire time until we won't talk about that
Yeah.
yet.
But in scenes where tension was needed, the sound really added to it.
The sound design,
Yeah.
the dialogue. Oh my god!
I am very happy to report this. The dialogue's not cringy. It was very good.
It's funny.
In the trailer, some lines came off really bad. It's a really well-written movie.
And it's funny.
It is.
Like, it's not bad funny, like the lines are bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the humor in this movie.
It's genuinely funny.
There were times when,
Yeah.
I mean, we did see it technically opening night, but like
Yeah.
the entire audience
Uh-huh.
was like laughing.
Yeah.
And that was just a good feeling.
Yeah. And it very much did capture the essence of Freddy as a person. Like, if you were a Queen fan.
Again, toast to Rami.
Yeah.
You gotta drink.
Yeah. He did amazing. How does the movie move along?
Very well. The
It
pace
does.
is exceptional
Yeah.
throughout the thing, except one little thing at the end that we'll talk about yet.
We're gonna get to the end eventually. Some scenes, I don't want to say they felt worst. Like, a complaint I've heard about this movie from other critics is that it's just like a skin-deep portrayal of Freddie Mercury as a person.
Not true.
Not true. You do see a lot of like his personal life with his girlfriend and his sexuality that evolves over the course of the movie and evolved obviously over the course of his life.
This is something I said earlier. Any biopic, you're not going to get the 100% truth.
Yeah.
So, like, the best thing you can do...
Liberties are going to be taken.
Yeah, so the best thing you can do is to capture, like, the feel of it and just tell the best story.
And this movie definitely
good
did
story.
that. It did.
Damn good story.
Did. This is...
Like, you said... You
I'm just so happy that this movie turned out as good as it did.
Yeah, 8 years. No, but, like, you talked to me about how certain things were out of order.
Yeah, like, these
Let's
are...
get some fact
These are
done.
pretty... Yeah. These are pretty minor things, honestly. Like, Queen's early manager, John Reed, who was also Elton John's manager for a long time, he, that was mentioned in the movie.
It was?
Wow. Yeah.
It was!
It was.
I remember now!
By the
This
way,
is why I'm the general audience.
By the way, that Elton John movie looks kind of iffy. We'll get to that eventually. We'll get to that when it comes.
No.
Yeah. So, John Reed, he was Elton's manager. He eventually took on Queen to manage them. Parts of that story were condensed. Like, Queen had managers before that who totally, like, didn't pay them, and Freddie Mercury actually wrote a song that was on the Night at the Opera album called Death on Two Legs, which was like a big fuck you to the original manager.
Okay.
Before John Reed, so that part was left out. Which, yeah, as a diehard Queen fan, you notice that, but it doesn't really
I did not
do
notice
much for them. Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not sure I really needed to know.
Yeah.
See, that, like, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, the movie does a very good job of, like, telling a coherent story. Like, I know there are things, obviously, that are cut out.
Yeah.
And things, as you've said, they're, like...
shifted around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything happens in a way that makes sense. And, like, if I didn't know anything about Queen, which I kind of don't, and I watched this movie, and you told me that this is exactly how it happened, I'd believe you. Except for, like, a few things. But even then, I'd still, like, believe you. There are a few things that are kind of movie-ish.
Near the ending.
We can spoil. We can spoil. Yeah.
We can spoil. Go ahead.
Okay. So, there is a scene in the movie where this is sort of every, like, rock... Maybe not every rock movie, but every movie that, like, kind of involves, like, this type of storyline.
Every biopic.
No, like, I mean, every, like, sort of... Hey, I'm an immigrant, I can say this. Every, like, immigrant story essentially involves a little trouble with your parents.
Okay.
Sort of. So, the whole reconciliation scene, I'm not... my movie sense was tingling on that.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know if that actually happened. That seems a little fake to me.
Yeah, I'm not 100% that happened either.
There we go.
I'm
vindicated.
Yeah, his family was kind of kept in the dark about his lifestyle for a lot of his life. And you do kind of get a scene of that late in the movie, of his parents kind of being surprised about...
But then you also had that scene with the dad looking at the newspaper and keeping up and, like, showing that they still had an active interest, which, that could be true.
Like, there was a story about... there was a story that I'm pretty sure this is true. I've read it in a book that Freddie's parents, they actually did watch this Live Aid performance, and Freddie's dad turned around, looked at his mom, and said, "Oh, boy's done it."
I'm glad that's not in the movie, though.
Yeah.
As nice a quote as that is.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's not in the movie.
If that wasn't a movie, I think you would have really thought that was incredibly movie-ish. Like, even if that did actually happen, seeing that in
honestly,
the movie, it would have been a little heavy-handed.
I feel like the silence was a lot more powerful.
Yeah.
Which is true for a lot of the movie. There are a lot of, like, really... I know it's weird to say this about, like, a rock movie, but there are a lot of quiet moments that are just so good. Too good.
A lot of it is just Rami Malek's facial expressions.
Yeah.
And they really do carry the
It was really... I'm saying good too much. It was very exceptional.
Yeah. It's a favorite.
Here, you want me to pull up
It's okay. If you guys have been watching my show at all, you know I have, like, a 20-word vocabulary, so this guy can say what he wants.
Alright, perfect. Yeah. It was magnificent.
Mm-hmm. One complaint I heard before seeing the movie, well, not a complaint once the movie was released, but when the trailers were coming out, that they straight-washed Freddy. Like, they weren't showing his gay relationships. And in the movie, they do.
Wait, this was a complaint about the trailers or the movie?
More about the trailers. Because the trailers did focus on Mary Austin as the love interest. Mm-hmm. There was a single shot in the trailer that kind of hinted at some stuff.
I actually do want to make a note about this because the way they do it is actually very interesting to me because it's sort of a hybrid between, because usually in movies there's the really subtle approach, which sometimes gets complaints, right? Yeah. Because at the same time, you're being subtle, yes. Yeah. But you're also, that
can be taken as being insulting to...
Like, when you're subtle about it, right? Yeah. It can be, it can go over people's heads, and you really don't want something... Well, I guess it depends on the story you're trying to tell, but still, you don't want something like that sort of to just go over people's heads. At the same time, there's also the opposite approach, which can be very, in your face about it. Yeah. But I think they actually did...
They messed it pretty well.
Yeah, so it goes subtle at the start. As the movie progresses, it becomes more open, and it's
which kind of mirrors Freddy's own life.
Yeah, and it's very... the shots for them... Mm-hmm. I complained about the cinematography a little earlier when we were talking about this, but those shots were probably, the best in the movie. The one that comes to mind, the first one, when he's talking on the phone and the swinging door. Yeah. Yes!
Yeah. So I love the scene where...
That's also a point for the editing, actually. But.
Yeah, I love the scene where, for the first half of the movie, he has a girlfriend named Mary Austin, which Freddie Mercury did in real life. So, he has a girlfriend, but then he goes on the road and starts kind of discovering his sexuality a little more. Mm-hmm. And then he goes home to see her, and they're watching the Queen concert on TV when they're together. Freddie reveals to her that he's bisexual, and they... it comes out.
He tries and still includes her, and then she just kind of falls it.
Yeah, she ultimately ends it. But what I love about the scene is that the song Love of My Life is playing in the background during that scene. And that song was written for Mary Austin.
As they say in the movie.
Yeah.
And that actually happens a lot. They do a really good job at positioning the songs at certain key points where it all really meshes. Yeah. And again,
when he's getting more into the gay scene, they play Another One Bites the Dust.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that's really... This is a small thing. When you hire a good editor, you should expect this. But it's no small feat, and it's kudos to the editor for doing this. But when you have the music sync up to things that happen in the movies, let's say a footstep syncs to a drum beat. It's a small thing, and it's not really that significant as I'm making it sound, but it's just really cool, and yeah, things like that. I think I said this earlier, but when you're watching a rock movie, you kind of want it to feel the same as when you are listening to the song. Which I don't think it completely did that. I'll give it it did a solid effort on it.
It's not... I've talked about the Doors movie a few times on here before. It's not quite as non-stop, let's focus it up as that movie is. Mm-hmm. But that movie's gotten a lot of complaints for that exact thing, that it's a little too in your face. This movie allows for more breaths between, the big scenes. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of quiet moments, as Sangeet said, and...
The pace is exceptional.
It flows really well. Mm-hmm. And there's something better than the Doors movie, because the Doors movie, just keep going. Never stops.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
I don't know.
And I've only seen it once. You've seen it?
I've seen it a few times.
A few?
Yeah.
A few.
More than a few. So it does work very well as a whole. The whole movie works very well. I was kind of mad for a bit, as you saw, if you saw my last video, that the weighting wasn't as heavy as it could have been. Like, I kind of wanted this to be an all-weighted movie.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, and it's PG-13. There are some things, just being kind of more of a diehard Queen fan, that kind of went false to me. Minor things, but like...
Like what?
Freddie used a lot more F-bombs in real life than he does in this movie. He gets one in the movie. Near the end, he says, "I'm Freddie fucking Mercury."
Oh, right, yeah. How did I forget that?
But, there's a scene where they have a party, and I'm glad they showed that. They showed Freddie partying. It's a little light, but, you know, you see it. You see it happening. And he stands up in front of everybody, and he says, "Let's all get shit-faced." That seemed a little cleaned up. That seemed a little cleaned up. I feel like the real Freddie would have said, "Let's get fucked."
Fair enough.
Yeah, minor complaint. Very minor complaint. That really does nothing to hinder the movie. That's just my little thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you do get party scenes, club scenes, and they show it. You get the point of what they're trying to convey without it being, too graphic or anything.
Yeah, like I said before, like the message of the movie is like perfect. The narrative, the way it like presents itself, perfect, except for one thing. But I keep teasing it.
Okay, so the entire movie's great.
We agree for the most part.
We agree for the most part. The ending scene. Okay.
You're gonna hate me.
Yeah. So, here's another spoiler. Something inaccurate to real life. In real life, Freddie Mercury realized he had AIDS in about 1987. In this movie, he gets tested for AIDS and discovers he has it. 1985, right before Live Aid, which the movie ends at Live Aid, so...
Which makes sense as the ending.
Narratively,
it works.
Pretty solid ending too, because like Queen after Live Aid, they did good stuff, of course. Still, like they had their infamous Wembley Stadium concert in '86. They had a couple more albums after that, but for a big movie, that's a good way to end.
And see, the reason I bring it up is because a complaint that I've heard a lot from at least like my friends about this movie, and like from certain reviews, is that if you guys remember like the old Jobs movie, that ends take a drink for that. That's good. That ends sort of ends too early. It doesn't really end at the point where that was kind of Jobs getting started, and that's what I've heard. Like people told me about this. Like it ends too early. Not necessarily where they're getting started, of course, but it ends like it doesn't end at the right moment. But if you actually like look at it narratively, and this is a perfect ending. So yeah, I don't think that's like a valid. I'm not certain that's really a valid complaint here because it works with the story they're telling. What my problem with it was, and it wasn't just me. The movie, honestly,
the majority of people though are satisfied with this ending scene.
The majority of the people the majority of the people in the theater we saw were diehard Queen fans.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
And I feel like one of the complaints I've heard about this movie, not maybe complaints but comments, is that apparently
one complaint I've heard is that it's lifeless, which isn't true.
No, definitely not. Certainly not.
Yeah.
No, but what I was going to say is, people have said that if you're not really into Queen, you can't really enjoy this movie. Yeah. Which is definitely not true. At all. I
shouldn't be saying not true for that, because I'm really into Queen, so, I don't really have a basis for that, but, you're saying it, so fair enough.
There we go, you agree with me. It really does tell a good story, and it's very, entertaining throughout. Like I say, it's funny, it's really heartfelt. The sound design, it gets you throughout. It wasn't just the theater. We saw this in general admission, and it was still amazing.
It was amazing.
But the thing is, what I will say is I think with the ending, the reason I think that people think that is because the concert hits a lot harder for diehard Queen fans. When you know something and you see this concert, like I said, we were watching this movie with a bunch of diehard Queen fans, for sure. There's no question about it. Yeah. The guy beside me, he was tearing up throughout the movie. Yeah. The guy beside him...
The guy on his other side was also tearing up.
Which, good on the movie. Points to the movie for that. But the guy beside him was wearing a Queen shirt. There were people, these were Queen fans. Yeah. And I think... It's sort of, what I'll compare it to is, I guess it's you remember, this is a weird comparison to make, but if you know how you're a Marvel fan and you remember seeing the Avengers team up for the first time, it's kind of that moment, you know? It's a moment that you know and just see it, it resonates with you. And that is why it did not resonate with me. You can speak more to that before.
Okay, I'll give you that, because I am a really big Queen fan, and this Live Aid scene... Queen's Live Aid performance, that's infamous in music history. Even if you're not a huge Queen fan, most people know that performance. At least if you were a certain age. Not my age, but a couple years older than me, I guess. But to see that on the big screen, I started tearing up at that scene. But honestly, I guess I see what you're saying. I think maybe I teared up just because of the love I have for the band, as opposed to like it being a great payoff in terms of the movie.
See, it's a good payoff narratively. Yeah. What bothered me about it is it felt, and is ironic considering the joke about length in this movie. But the movie, like, it's not necessarily the length of the scene that bothers me. It's how repetitive, because it goes through the whole set, which makes sense. It should, but the shots, like the sequence
and again,
of shots,
a Queen fan might have more patience for that.
But it sort of got into this like, and again, it's ironic because the movie. There's a line about formulas suck. We shouldn't use formulas, which the movie itself is pretty formulaic, but you understand that, and that's forgivable.
Yeah.
Like, it's a rock movie. You can't really deviate too much. But with this scene, it kept doing the same loop of shots of the band, shots of, like, close up the audience. Kept doing that. They mixed it up a little bit, and these were, like, the best moments of these scenes. The Mike Myers scene. The Mike Myers bit. Priceless. The close-ups on Mary, her boyfriend, or husband.
Not husband. Boyfriend.
Not husband?
Boyfriend.
Okay, boyfriend. And
Jim Hutton.
Jim Hutton.
Freddie's boyfriend.
And those moments, they hit hard. But everything else, at least for me, it felt too repetitive, and I feel like they could have been like a bit more creative, at least mixing it up. Just because like the first few minutes, it's like it works. But like especially with a movie, you kind of want to keep things contained and like fresh. If you have something like repeating itself in that short a span and not delivering like in a fresh way, it kind of drags. And like after about 5 minutes, I was completely out of it. I started looking around. This guy, you saw me looking around. I bet you were kind of pissed. I made eye contact with at least one other person who was also looking around. So it wasn't just me, guys. There were others.
Hold on. Very happy for you. I don't know what to say about that because for me it was a good payoff.
Which I get.
For the average movie watcher, it might be a little bit different.
Yeah, but like honestly, that does not detract from the movie at all because the rest of the movie, like that was maybe 6 minutes, like 10 minutes at the end. The rest of the movie, like the rest, almost 2 hours, so good.
So good.
It has you the entire time. There is not a moment where my my attention really faded. I was noticing things throughout the movie, like little minor things. But it still had me, it still, like, hooked me, and it was exceptional.
And, like, for as crazy as a production as this movie was...
it's kind of a miracle, honestly.
It's amazing how good this is.
Yeah, like 8 years. Guys,
8 years, three casting changes.
There could be a movie on the production of this movie alone. There could be. Someone make it. Do it. I gave you an idea.
Do it. And the change of directors. Do we want to talk about that for a bit?
I feel like Fleischer should have gotten the credit. That's my
opinion. I talked about this in my last video. It should have been Dexter Fleischer.
And that's aside...
I get that Singer had possibly more input in the actual filming of it, but I don't know. I feel like, at least like co-direction, Fleischer should have gotten
No, they can't do that. They don't allow you to do that. That's the whole reason there was a dispute. You're only allowed to credit one.
Fleischer does get a producer credit.
Yeah, he got executive producer, which is the compromise they made. I think it should have been the other way around, though.
Fair enough.
Just because I feel like, and this is what I was saying earlier about Singer, except I goofed. I don't think Singer's style is really that unique.
Biopic-ish either.
Especially it doesn't fit the form, and it just isn't, like, you compare it to any other director, it's just not, well, not any other, but even so, it's just not as, at least for me, it's not as, like, and I think, again, aside from the controversy, which, that's a big thing, but I think, honestly, I feel like Fleischer seems to have done more with the film.
He was actually going to be the director on this before Singer was ever on board. I think when Ben Whishaw was still going to play Freddy, it was going to be Dexter Fleischer directing it.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm actually not that familiar with Fleischer, but just based on what I saw in the movie, it doesn't feel like a Singer production. Again, I feel like Singer as executive producer probably would have made more sense. But hey, it's a decision they made, and I get that it was like a hard thing to go through, so fair enough.
Still, again, we've said this a million times, but like for everything this movie went through, it's really good. The way it turned out.
Yeah. There are a few other movies that are like that go through this amount of production that actually turn up well. Like, honestly, it's still a little like it hasn't really sunk in yet. Because like, you know, you go into this movie, you're expecting, oh my god, like at least if you know anything about the production, you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna see? You know,
I was hyped and tense.
I did not feel that. See, it was worse for me because I didn't feel the hype. I mean, I was open, but it was also like, I'm not sure. And you know, spending money when you're a university student, you know how that is. So
that's kind of.
But hey, it was worth it.
It was
worth it. It was worth the price of admission.
I'd see it again.
Oh yeah.
No,
you are.
Do we? Yes. Do we want to? I brought this up a bit ago, but do we want to talk about how this movie would have been different, better, or worse if Sacha Baron Cohen had been in it as Freddy?
I think it would have been different. Here's the thing, because I feel like what Rami did.
I feel bad even mentioning this now because like Rami's so good.
He's so good.
He's so good.
I feel like the difference is they would have done it so differently.
Yeah.
Because their styles. At least from what I've seen, their approaches to acting are very different.
Yeah.
And I think Rami's personally, again, we don't have the alternative to like compare. Yeah. But his approach fits the style and fits the movie they were making a lot better, where I can't really imagine Sacha in this part. I'm sorry.
You have interviews with both actors, Sacha Baron Cohen and Rami Malek. In interviews, Sacha Baron Cohen is a lot more like, you know, his other roles, you know, comedic and funny and, you know, pretty out there.
Yeah.
Rami Malek, he is a lot more like Freddie Mercury in interviews. Like, he's pretty reserved and has a kind of awkward way of talking, but he's still charming and funny. And,
yeah. It's that Newt Scamander type of charm, if you know what I mean. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like also, you mentioned this, but I feel like Sacha might be a little distracted. I don't know.
Yeah. He could have been great. He could
have
been.
No, I fully believe he would have done a good job. I just don't think...
Yeah.
I think it would have been a very different movie. Maybe if they make another Queen movie, you know? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Do that too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they have to. This is pretty
true.
solid. Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen, good actor and everything. Maybe it would have been maybe would have been a little distracting though.
Yeah, even just compared to. Do you want to actually talk about like comparing it to other like rock movies?
It felt. I said this already. I don't know. It felt a little cleaned up, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I kind of agree.
It felt cleaned up, but they got their point across, so I can't really say it felt too cleaned up, because they did. People were worried before it came out that they wanted to address that he had AIDS. They do that. People were worried that they wouldn't show his gay relationships. They do that. But they they don't show them as much as they could.
This is very condensed. Which, to the movie's credit, it does work a lot in certain parts.
It works with the tone of the movie too, though.
Again, this might just be because I don't know everything, but to me, it works pretty well. I feel like they did a good job of capturing everything. From a review I read, they said that it plays less like a best hits collection and more like a medley. I don't agree with that, but then again, I don't know. They're saying like it's not the best moments, it's not like the best hits, it's not like the scope of what Queen is. It's more like it's like a medley, so it's like picking and choosing and like.
I agree and disagree with that, because you have them recording their hit songs, and you have the scene of them doing Bohemian Rhapsody, which that was a great scene. They recorded it. Like, you get that. You really do feel that quest for perfection that Queen was looking for all the time, and it captures it perfectly. Like, I've watched a million Queen documentaries, and you see that creative process in those. This movie, it captured it perfectly. But then there were moments in his personal life, like with Mary Austin, and then later on Jim. And I'd call those scenes more of the medley aspect, because they're not as known to the general public.
But do you think they still like capture the full breadth, or do you think there should be more moments of that?
No, I was pretty impressed with what they did with those scenes, because especially going into this, there's pre-reviews saying it was like it barely scratches the surface of Queen. No, that's wrong, because they do address a lot of the personal stuff that Freddie went through.
Yeah, and also speaking on Freddie, this is sort of like, I guess, is kind of geeky, but like the character arc they had for him. Again, you said they mixed things around, but it's so well done. Mm-hmm. Like that's why I feel like the ending is just so perfect because you've got him going from like it's sort of like the General Rocker thing. You got him going from like an outcast to the sort of fall from grace. Mm-hmm. He lets his like ego take over almost, and then you got the comeback. Or in most in rock movies, you either have the comeback or basically death. Yeah. Which
happens eventually in this, but you don't see it.
Yep. Yeah. I like that too. It was a nice little callback to have the that type of the pictures and the text like explaining what happened.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, you get text as you would probably think you do, saying he died November '91,
and you have footage, of course, of
footage of the real band playing "Don't Stop Me Now,"
which is, I mean, it's expected but it works.
It's cool.
It's cool.
And you really do, when you see the actual footage right after you've seen the movie, you really do see how well the casting was done.
Oh, yeah. Again, props to the casting director.
Yeah.
Well done. You guys don't get enough props. You need all the props you get.
Especially to the guy playing John Deacon. He's the bass player for Queen now. When he was a kid, he was running away from dinosaurs. I had to make that joke once. Thank you.
They do so many good jokes with him, too.
What?
With the bass player.
Yeah, John Deacon.
Funny.
John Deacon, the real guy. Mm-hmm. He's retired in real life now. People don't really see him anymore. Mm-hmm. I wonder what he thinks of this. I wonder if he's seen this movie. I hope he has. I hope he's doing okay too. John Deacon, I know you're not watching this, but to John Deacon, the bass player. Yeah, they do a lot of funny scenes with him. Again, I hope the real guys appreciate doing all this.
And the whole bass player of a band.
Yeah.
So it works.
It has to be done. It has to happen.
Like I said, all the characters are really they're not, I wouldn't say it's super fleshed out, but they're all well integrated. And I know it's Freddie's movie, of course. But
there was some inaccuracies about, there seemed to be a bit more antagonism between Freddie and the rest of the band than I think there was in real life.
Oh. Really? I would have thought it'd be the other way around, actually. I guess it makes sense if you're playing.
They did fight, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I feel like they were kind of closer.
What about the...
a little bit.
The thing between... The thing...
assistant?
No, not that. Okay. I buy that. Yeah. That worked for me.
The assistant thing was on Paul Puente in real life, that guy was a scumbag.
I was cheering when he dropped it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So
yeah.
No, I'm talking about him and the other band member. You know the subtle thing they had? Do you remember he was saying faithful to your wife and all that, and they had those moments between them, and he was he made that barb against your pet and everything, so they sort of hinted that they had interest in each other.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Which band member were you talking about?
Blonde one.
Oh, what is it? No. That's not
true?
No.
Oh.
Oh, that they were attracted to or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like that's what the movie was saying.
No.
You didn't get that?
I kind of got that, but I don't think that's accurate to real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because,
the guy's still alive, so I don't want to say that's accurate to real life.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, because, if it's not, that's what I have a choice to make. No, because you saw...
It is subtle. It is subtle.
It is very subtle.
Not,
because there's 3 moments that come out to me. It's the first one is they're alone, and they're, talking. Oh, and he's like, oh, you want to grab a drink? And he's like, no, I gotta get home to my wife.
Yeah.
And he's trying to insist on getting a drink, and he still goes. The second time, he gets angry at him for his relationship with the assistant, and having him around, which sounded...
That was accurate.
Oh.
As I said.
But it seemed less annoyance, from the other bands, and more it was played more like jealousy. And there was also the barb about, we know how strong loyalty is. Isn't that right? And he's with his wife.
I do, yeah.
It felt I don't know if I'm just misreading the situation, but that's what it felt like.
Well,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Walter Taylor did leave his first wife for another woman.
Is that so? That's what it was about.
Maybe, yeah.
I misconstrued that.
Okay.
No, because he would like that weird the scene in the house, and he's like, "Oh, you should stay for a drink." No, I really can't, Freddie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
guess I'm wrong. You're watching it again soon, so tell me.
Yeah, I will.
Tell me, because I don't know. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay.
I might be wrong. I'm a general audience member for a reason.
Yeah. Okay. So overall, great movie. Well made.
How many Red Bulls out of 10 would you give it?
How many Red Bulls out of 10?
Yes.
I would give this 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. If you know me in person, I'm not the best at ratings because it takes me a while to think of like when I'm actually thinking of a movie.
And we just saw this tonight, so he hasn't had a lot of time.
I haven't had a lot of time, so I might regret this, but I'm gonna give it tentatively 7, maybe 8 Red Bulls out of 10.
Okay.
A soft 7 to a hard 8.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay, so there's a review of Bohemian Rhapsody. We finally saw it. It was awesome. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.